Normally, a game takes a niche and tries to perfect it, and that's what the game is known for. Some games try to take multiple mechanics and implement them in their own game. With time, those mechanics become core features for the game that has them. But what happens when a game doesn't have the content or time to polish those mechanics that it introduced? You get metal eaten. When a game centers itself in borrowing multiple mechanics from other games, it can lack creativity to have its own identity. Metal Eden is a good game with a lot of strengths, but sadly it focuses a lot on the weaknesses, with a very short amount of time to polish those mechanics. The strengths range from a lot of weapons that feel great to use, a punching mechanic that is satisfying to pull off, movement that is smooth, a core ripping mechanic that instantly kills enemies, and music that enhances the experience every time you get into combat. Even if the game has all of these great features, this game focuses too much on limiting the player and giving them more than needed without making the core mechanics better. The game is basically a Doom-inspired first-person shooting with fast shooting and a touch of inspiration from Metroid. The Doom inspiration works great because the shooting is fast and the weapons feel great. You get 7 weapons that you can switch around whenever you want and a grenade. The main SMG has unlimited ammo with a heating mechanic, and all of the others have limited ammo you can pick up around in the map. Every weapon is completely different. Some weapons do more damage to shields and some more damage to health, so you have to keep managing the weapons as you run around. This is the good part of the game because it changes it up, and it also makes the game easier if you match the right weapon with the right element. There's only 2 elements, so it doesn't overcomplicate the game: elemental shields and kinetic. The combat is even better when you raise the volume to hear the music on the background, specially made for the encounters. This is highlighted multiple times in the missions when you get a gun that has unlimited ammo and does more damage than usual. During all of the encounters, you can press a button to rip off the core of enemies that don't have shields and throw it to other enemies, or absorb that core to get a super punch that does devastating damage. This mechanic is the main mechanic of the game aside from shooting, and it's really cool pulling off the core of smaller enemies to do massive damage to bigger enemies. The game is extremely short, with only 8 main missions that take around 20 to 40 minutes to complete. It has difficulty settings, and you can choose each mission to get extra XP, or dust as they call it, to make your weapons better, not stronger, but it unlocks different skills. The character has a skill tree that you can buy skills from as you pass missions and get dust. The game has replayability. If you want to make your character better, or if you want to make the weapons better, you need to finish the game multiple times or play missions multiple times. The skills range from super punching once to super punching twice in a small period of time. Also, increasing explosion radius and gaining shield when using certain skills. The skill tree is not there for you to make builds, but for you to eventually unlock everything and get stronger as you finish the missions faster or on higher difficulties. Every mission has a cutscene as intro and a cutscene as outro to guide you through the story, and this is where the issues start. The game did not need cutscenes because even with them, the story doesn't get its point across. If they inspired themselves with Doom formula, they could have also focused all of their power into making missions and add the voice acting when you're in combat instead of having all of those cutscenes that do not make a great impact. The cutscenes do look nice, but they're not a big deal. The other feature that felt like they wanted to inspire themselves from other games and doesn't hit is a mechanic that lets you turn into a ball, just like Samus. This is necessary twice during the whole game to go through fields of lava so you don't get damaged, and also to do very simple puzzles. These are also what I will call a waste of resources. Instead of having this mechanic that doesn't add much to the niche of the game, they could have focused on adding more encounters. When you need to use the mechanic, it slows down the pace of the game. Even if the ball has a button to go faster, it feels like there isn't a difference. On top of that, this mechanic replaces a potential sprint mechanic that could have made the game even faster. As you pass the second mission, you start picking up on how limited the game is when it comes to certain mechanics. The game stops you from punching as much as you want by putting a cooldown on regular punch, and it also has wall running, but only on specific walls made for specifically wall running. The features are there for you to use them, as long as you're using them on a controlled environment. The formula becomes repetitive, and you can expect when a jumping puzzle is coming and when a combat encounter is next. This is where the game became a bit monotonous to me, because instead of running and gunning, the game slows down to get from one point to the other with no enemies in between. Then it stops you to upgrade your weapons or character, and then the next biome is an encounter. Every single mission has the same formula. I found the game repetitive, and this was in 4 hours of gameplay. So you know that when you notice this issue in such a small amount of time, the game doesn't mix anything up. Overall, the game is great. This is the type of game you play for the gameplay. You pick a mission and slowly upgrade your weapons and character until you can experience the toughest difficulties. I recommend people play this if they want a fast-paced shooter with great music. The game is worth the $20 on Steam and is a great game to play on PlayStation Plus catalog.